Have you ever stood in front of your class? You look at your students. Their faces are young, full of dreams, full of questions. But suddenly you feel a surge of anger. A wave of frustration washes over you. It comes from nowhere. It has no name. It has no clear reason. You try to push it down. You try to smile. But the feeling is strong. It's a confusing and lonely place to be. You are the teacher. You are supposed to be the guide, the beacon of light. But right now, you feel lost in a storm of your own making. This is a real feeling. It is a valid feeling. And it is okay to admit it. This sudden anger can make you question everything. Am I a bad teacher? Do I not care about my students anymore? Why am I feeling this way towards these children? These young minds who look up to me. These questions can be heavy. They can weigh you down, making each day in the classroom feel like a burden. You might find yourself being shorter with your answers, a little less patient, a little more distant. The joy you once felt in teaching starts to fade. It is replaced by a quiet, simmering resentment that you cannot explain. It is a silent battle fought within the four walls of your own heart. It is important to know that you are not alone in this feeling. Many teachers, many good and dedicated teachers, have felt this way. It does not make you a failure. It makes you human. Our classrooms are not just spaces for learning subjects like math and science. They are emotional spaces. They are filled with the energies, the joys, and the struggles of every single person inside. Sometimes the pressure becomes too much. The unspoken expectations, the long hours, the emotional labor, it all builds up, brick by brick, until a wall stands between you and your students. A wall you did not even realize you were building. So, what do we do when this storm hits? How do we navigate these turbulent waters? The first step is to pause, to breathe, to acknowledge the feeling without judgment. Do not fight the anger. Do not run from it. Instead, look at it. Acknowledge its presence. Say to yourself, I feel angry, and I do not know why. This simple act of honesty is powerful. It is the first step towards understanding. It is the beginning of finding your way back to the light, back to the passion that called you to become a teacher in the first place. The journey back to a peaceful classroom begins now. Now that we have named the feeling, we must ask the hard questions. We must turn the mirror towards ourselves. Where is this anger truly coming from? Is it really about the student who forgot his homework? Or the quiet chatter at the back of the room? Or is it something deeper? Take a moment. At the end of a long day, sit in silence. Ask your heart. What is happening in my life outside of this classroom? Am I tired? Am I stressed about things at home? Am I feeling unappreciated or overwhelmed in my job? We must be brave enough to look for the source. Often the anger we feel towards our students is a reflection. It is a displaced emotion. Maybe you had a difficult morning. Perhaps you are worried about a family member. Or maybe you are simply exhausted from the demands of life. Our students, with their boundless energy and constant needs, can become an easy target for these feelings. They are there, right in front of us. It is easier to be annoyed by a tapping pen than to confront the real, bigger problems in our lives. This is a difficult truth, but understanding it is the key to unlocking the problem and finding a real solution. Think of it as detective work. You are the detective of your own heart. Look for clues. Did this anger start on a specific day? Does it get worse at a certain time? Is it triggered by a particular student or a particular situation? Keeping a small journal can help. Write down when you feel the anger. Write down what was happening right before it. After a few days, you might see a pattern, a connection you did not see before. This is not about blaming yourself. This is about empowering yourself with knowledge. Knowledge is power, and self-knowledge is the greatest power of all. Once you start to see the source, you can begin to address it. If the source is exhaustion, what can you do to get more rest? If it is stress from outside work, can you talk to someone about it? Perhaps you need to set better boundaries between your work life and your personal life. Maybe you need to find a new hobby, something that brings you joy, something that is just for you. Taking care of yourself is not selfish. It is essential. You cannot pour from an empty cup. To be the best teacher for your students, you must first be kind to yourself. After looking inward, it is time to look outward. It is time to rebuild the bridges that your anger may have damaged. How do we do this? We do this with courage and with honesty. One of the bravest things a teacher can do is to be vulnerable with their students. You do not need to share all your personal problems, but you can be honest about your feelings in a general way. You can say something like, "Class, I want to apologize. I feel that I have been a little impatient lately, and I am working on it. I want our classroom to be a positive place for all of us." This kind of communication is powerful. It shows your students that you are human. It teaches them a valuable lesson about taking responsibility for one's emotions and actions. It models humility and strength. And it opens the door for a real conversation. After you share, you must be prepared to listen. Ask for their feedback. You can say, "How have you been feeling in our class recently? Is there anything I can do to be a better teacher for you?" You can do this through an open class discussion. Or, if that is too difficult, you can ask them to write their thoughts on a piece of paper without their names. The feedback you receive might be hard to hear. It might sting a little, but it is a gift. It is a window into their world, a chance to see the classroom through their eyes. Listen with an open heart. Do not be defensive. Try to understand their perspective. Maybe your tone of voice has been harsher than you realized. Maybe a new rule you made has caused them stress. This feedback is not criticism. It is a tool, a guide to help you mend the relationship and make the classroom a safer, happier space for everyone. It shows your students that their voices matter, that they are respected. If the anger feels too big to handle alone, please reach out for help. Talk to a trusted colleague, a fellow teacher who might have gone through something similar. Share your struggles with a mentor or a department head. Sometimes, just talking about it can make the burden feel lighter. And do not be afraid to seek professional help from a school counselor or a therapist. They are trained to provide support and give you strategies to manage stress and difficult emotions. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of profound strength. It is a sign that you care enough to get better. The final, most important step is to cultivate empathy. We must always try to see things from our students' perspective. Remember what it was like to be their age, the pressures of school, the challenges of friendships, the struggles at home that we, as teachers, may never know about. That student who seems defiant might be dealing with a difficult situation at home. The one who is always tired might not be getting enough sleep because of family problems. The one who can't focus might be hungry. Every student carries a story that we cannot see. Patience is a virtue, and in teaching, it is a necessity. Be patient with your students, but also, be patient with yourself. Change does not happen overnight. Rebuilding trust takes time. There will be good days, and there will be bad days. On the hard days, remind yourself of their hidden stories. Look at each student not just as a name on a roster, but as a whole person. A person with fears, hopes, and challenges of their own. This shift in perspective can change everything. It can soften your heart. It can replace frustration with compassion. It can turn a moment of anger into a moment of understanding. When we lead with empathy and communicate with honesty, our classrooms transform. They become more than just places of academic learning. They become communities. They become safe havens where students and teachers feel seen, heard, and valued. The tension disappears. It is replaced by a spirit of collaboration and mutual respect. Students are more likely to engage. They are more likely to take risks and to learn, because they know they are in a supportive environment. And you, the teacher, will rediscover the joy and the purpose that brought you to this noble profession. So, to every teacher who has ever felt that unexplained anger, do not lose hope. This is not the end of your story. It is an invitation to look deeper, to communicate more openly, to connect more authentically. By embracing this challenge, you can build a stronger, more resilient, and more loving classroom. A place where everyone, including you, has the space to grow. A place where understanding lights the way. And that, my friends, is the bottom line. A better classroom is possible. And it begins with you. It begins today.